America's trusted news source, ABC 6 News at 6:30.
We begin with breaking news this evening. Former President Jimmy Carter has died. He was 100 years old. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Alyssa Azara. Mr. Carter had been in hospice care since 2023. Take a listen.
When Americans elected Jimmy Carter the 39th president of the United States, it was a vote for something new.
So help me God.
Congratulations. James Earl Carter was born in Plains, Georgia, October 1st, 1924. In 1946, he graduated near the top of his class at the U.S. Naval Academy, married Rosalind Smith, and served on the nation's developing nuclear submarine program. He returned to Georgia to run the family business, a peanut farm, and launched a political career that took him from the local school board to the governor's mansion.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
Then, in 1976,
my name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president.
Carter defeated Gerald Ford in a race for the Oval Office. Carter's single term was marked by a lagging economy and a nationwide energy shortage. Inflation climbed to 15% in 1980, and Carter's approval rating plunged. He blamed the nation's problems on what he called a malaise in the American spirit.
It is a crisis that strikes at the very heart and soul and spirit of our national will.
Internationally, President Carter was influential in efforts to make peace in the Middle East, encouraging a treaty between Israel and Egypt with the Camp David Accords. But the event that seemed to doom his presidency was the taking of 52 American hostages at the U.S. Embassy in Iran. They were held for 444 days, released just hours after Carter left office. Yet Carter launched a post-presidency that many would consider more productive than his 4 years in office. In 1981, he established the Carter Center, sponsoring programs to promote human rights in the Third World and monitoring elections in developing democracies. The former president and his wife volunteered their time and energy building low-income housing for Habitat for Humanity. In 1997, Carter was asked about his legacy.
But I would hope that 50 years from now, whatever, that people would associate the words peace and human rights with my name.
It was this work that in 1999 earned him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and in 2002, the Nobel Peace Prize, leaving many Americans remembering him best for his achievements after the White House. Karen Travers, ABC News.
Well, we spoke with one of former President Carter's close aides from his time in the White House. Here's what she said about his legacy.
Well, first thing goes to my mind is obviously sadness of the loss of this great man and great model of integrity and leadership and courage. And I will say there's nobody who modeled more integrity in that office and ethics than that man.
Congressman Gabe Amos said in a statement, quote, "With the passing of President Jimmy Carter, we mourn a legend in public service and the North Star of what it means to truly love thy neighbor. I will remember his devout focus on global human rights, commitment to ethical leadership, and steadfast faith in the better angels of America. May he rest in peace." Congressman Seth Magaziner also releasing a statement saying, quote, "President Carter will be remembered as an honorable man who led with honesty and decency. May his example inspire generations to come." And Senator Jack Reed said in a statement, quote, "From the Naval Academy to the White House to Habitat for Humanity, Jimmy Carter led a life of public service and personal integrity. Jimmy Carter was a man of uncommon principle, compassion, caring, kindness, and faith who truly lived his values and made the world a better place." New tonight at 6:30, a crash in Brockton sends one person to the hospital. It happened in the 600 block of Pearl Street around 1 this afternoon. Brockton Fire sharing these photos of the scene from when they responded to the crash today. Officials say the person taken to the hospital is expected to be okay. The Boston Fire Department mourning the loss of Lieutenant Joseph Hurley. The Boston Firefighters Union announcing today that he died unexpectedly on December 26th. A wake will be held for Hurley tomorrow in West Roxbury, Massachusetts. All right, let's get a check on the forecast now. Meteorologist Kelly Bates joins us live in the Weather Center. Kelly, it's kind of warm outside, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, it's weird, but you know what? It actually keeps us a little bit safer. We don't have ice to be concerned about. And yeah, we don't have to crank up the heat in the home. So it's actually a money saver too, when you think about it. As we take a look outside over the capital city, we are finding some wet roads, but they are not slippery per se. And basically, we're looking at rolling in some patches of fog from time to time. It's 48 degrees. Your average high for today is 40, so we are well above the average high, and certainly the average low, which, by the way, is 25 if you're curious. We are expecting a front to come into southern New England as we go late tonight into tomorrow morning, and that's going to be a big game changer for the week ahead. But right now, in the meantime, until that cold front goes through, this is where our temperatures will be. We're at 55 right now in Taunton, 54 in New Bedford, 53 in Smithfield, and 52 in Newport. Satellite radar showing some clouds overhead. We're still dealing with that warm front that's kind of stuck in place, and we do have a cold front that's working its way through the state of Pennsylvania as we speak. That's the cold front. That is going to be our next rainmaker, and it looks like we're going to see the onset of that rain as we get to the pre-dawn hours. So between here and there, we are expecting mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures are going to be holding in the lower 50s right on through, and that will ensure that any precipitation we see from that cold front will stay liquid, nothing frozen. Temperatures still top in the 50-degree mark until we get into the new year, and then we see a dramatic drop. I'll let you know how low they're going to go and if there's snow in that forecast too, coming right up. Alyssa?
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Kelly. Turning to consumer news this evening, the new year is almost here, and with it comes some new laws in Rhode Island. So the minimum wage is being increased to $15 an hour starting January 1st. This is a $1 bump up from $14 an hour, which was put into effect January 1st of this year. Other stories making headlines this weekend. The Buttonwood Park Zoo in New Bedford announcing that a local icon, Ruth the Asian elephant, has died. A spokesperson for the zoo says Ruth died on Friday surrounded by her care team. She was 66 years old. Ruth was at the zoo for nearly 4 decades and touched the hearts of many. She first came to New Bedford with numerous health issues after being an elephant for hire. One of the treatments used to help her was actually so successful that it's been used around the world to help other elephants. The zoo will be closed until January 2nd to allow staff to mourn her loss, and the celebration of life will be held for Ruth in the spring. Crews responded to a car fire on Warren Avenue in Brockton Saturday afternoon. The fire department posting these photos to social media showing the damage to the front windshield and the hood of that BMW. Fire officials say the driver parked his car and noticed smoke coming from the engine compartment. A passerby dialed 911. The driver was not injured. Officials say the cause of the fire was a mechanical issue. Switching gears now to national news at 6:30. A man from Colorado is set to appear in court after police say he followed a reporter's vehicle for 40 miles earlier this month. According to court documents, Patrick Egan pulled up next to Duran Alex's car at a stoplight and asked Alex if he was an American citizen. Alex managed to make it to the TV station, but when he got out of his vehicle, Egan allegedly tackled him and began to choke him. Egan will appear in court on Thursday for a hearing. Meanwhile, around $30,000 worth of jewelry was stolen from Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic. Police found that unknown suspects entered the home by breaking through the master bedroom window. According to Mavericks coach, Doncic was okay and is glad that no one was hurt. A number of NBA players' homes have been targeted in recent months. The FBI is now involved and says in most incidents, the homes and alarm systems were not activated, were unoccupied, and in most cases, no dogs were present. Turning to world news now. A terrifying passenger plane crash captured on video in South Korea. Nearly everyone on board the plane killed in one of the nation's worst air disasters. A warning, some of the video you're about to watch is graphic. Here's ABC's Inez de la Coutiera.
Jeju Air Flight 2216 exploded into flames after something went terribly wrong while landing at Won International Airport in South Korea. The 15-year-old Boeing 737 landed without its landing gear deployed on its belly at high speed, then veered off the runway before slamming into a concrete wall and bursting into flames. Local transportation officials say before landing, the control tower issued a warning of possible bird strike, and the pilot sent a distress signal immediately afterwards. 1 minute later, the pilot issued a mayday call and tried landing the plane.
One of the incident areas here to look at, of course, is why the landing gear was retracted. But there are a lot of different nuances. The timing here is very strange in terms of the alert for birds in the area, then a mayday call, and then several minutes elapsing before the airplane is actually over the runway.
Korean authorities Authorities say there were 175 passengers and 6 crew members on board the flight, which had taken off from Bangkok. Just 2 crew members were rescued from the wreckage. Everyone else on board was killed. According to the flight manifest, there were 5 children under the age of 10 on the flight, the youngest just 3 years old. Distraught family members gathered at an airport lounge as fire officials read the names of the victims. Jeju Air's CEO expressing his deepest apologies and accepting responsibility for the crash as the company's top executive. Boeing releasing a statement saying, "We extend our deepest condolences to the families who lost loved ones, and our thoughts remain with the passengers and crew." The plane's black box, which includes the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder, has been recovered, partially damaged. The NTSB saying on Sunday it is leading a team of U.S. investigators, including representatives of Boeing and the FAA, to assist Korean officials with their investigation into what caused this tragic crash. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, London.
All right, still to come on ABC 6 News at 6:30. 2 people have died in the South due to severe weather. We'll take a look at the path of destruction left behind and how residents are now picking up the pieces.
Time now for the Rhode Island Retirement Report. Jeff Massey is the founder of Massey & Associates. Most of us will rely on Social Security for at least part of our retirement income. So why is it important to get guidance before we start claiming those benefits? Because there are a lot of different decisions to make.
Every month is a different decision, if you will, from age 62 all the way to age 70. And there is times where people should absolutely take it early, and some should probably defer. So who should take it early? People that have bad health, unfortunately, because it is a longevity-based issue. Compared to 62, if your full retirement age is 66, if you wait those 4 years, it will take you about 12 years to recover the money you left on the table. So you have to look at that from 66 to 70. The math is about the same. It depends on the actual numbers. It's 12 to 12 and a half years. But if you defer to 70, we need to make it 82 just to recover the money you left on the table. Won't always work for everybody, so it's important to better understand that. So when you start is a huge issue, and we have specialized software that we use to help determine what we refer to as the sweet spot for each person or couple, because the couple could be different decisions. One could start early, one could go to full retirement, or even defer to age 70. The life expectancy of your family should be taken into account to make a good, solid decision.
There's a lot to think about. We want to get this offer into your hands about Social Security. It'll help you out and guide you towards that.
Right. This is a great report on Social Security that will give you details, the hows, the whens, and what's right for you. And then we back that up with specialized software to ensure that we're making the best decision that we can for you and your spouse if you're married.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much. Call, click, or text to get that offer sent to you. Thanks for watching.
Make every day a fresh start. Watch Good Morning Providence.
At least 38 reports of tornadoes across 6 states yesterday in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. This severe weather has so far been blamed for at least 4 deaths. Here's ABC's Christian Cordero.
That's it right there. Deadly tornadoes ripping through the South this weekend across at least 6 states. In Crockett, Texas, a tornado brought down trees and power lines. Heavy rains left behind significant flooding. This water pipe burst during the storm. Further south, this funnel cloud hovered over Porter, where Jeremy Rosales says he scrambled to get his family and dogs into the bathroom inside his mobile home as the twister tore through.
I looked out the window and there was a tornado outside the window, so it was pretty much like almost instantaneous. Lights went out.
In Galveston County, wind knocked down power lines. The National Weather Service confirms an EF1 tornado touched down in Katy, Texas, damaging several structures. A confirmed tornado in Liverpool damaged multiple homes, and another confirmed tornado hit the town of Splendora.
Each one of these icons, that is an individual storm report. You're looking at wind damage, hail damage, flooding damage, and of course those tornado reports as well. Just here in Southeast Texas, we had 5 confirmed tornado reports, and those continue through Louisiana into Mississippi and Alabama as well.
In Athens, Alabama, an overnight storm damaged this building, flipped over this helicopter, and brought down power lines. Crews now working to make repairs. In Jackson County, Mississippi, heavy rains fell as a storm system moved through. Several people had to be rescued from their homes. This campground left underwater. Rain from this system now moving into the Northeast tonight from Washington, D.C. up to Maine by Monday morning. But those rains will not be as severe. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up after the break, Kelly will be back with our 7-day forecast here at home. Stay with us. We'll be right back.